Have you ever wondered how different our world would be if one event in history had gone another way? What if I told you a single fire, one catastrophic event, might have set humanity back 1,000 years? This isn't just a story about lost books. It's the story of a future we never got to live. Let's travel back in time to the 3rd century before Christ. The city of Alexandria in Egypt wasn't just a place on a map. It was the epicenter of an idea. Founded by Alexander the Great and nurtured by his successors, the Ptolemaic dynasty, it became the intellectual heartbeat of the entire known world. And at its core was the great Library of Alexandria, humanity's first truly universal vault of knowledge. Imagine a single building complex holding the wisdom of every great civilization. Philosophy from Greece, astronomy from Babylon, medicine from Egypt, mathematics from across the globe. It's estimated over 500,000 scrolls, handwritten texts containing the sum of human understanding, filled its shelves. This wasn't just a collection, it was a living, breathing institution. The brightest minds from all corners of the world gathered here. They didn't just read. They debated, they collaborated, they pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible. It was the first time in history that we, as a species, made a conscious effort to gather everything we knew into one place. A monumental effort to create a shared human consciousness. But knowledge, as we know, can be incredibly fragile. History is messy. A series of conflicts, invasions, and political turmoil swept through Alexandria over the centuries. A single spark, whether from a conqueror's torch or an accident of war, was all it took. And just like that, it was gone. The flames didn't just consume papyrus. They consumed futures. Scrolls that held the scientific theories of forgotten civilizations turned to ash. Medical texts, engineering blueprints, intricate maps of the stars all vanished. Humanity didn't just lose a library. We lost a piece of our collective soul. We were forced to start over, to rediscover what we already knew. So let's ask that tantalizing question. What if that fire never happened? What if the Library of Alexandria survived? In this alternate timeline, the library is not a casualty of war, but a protected treasure. The Ptolemies defend it fiercely. The Romans, recognizing its immense value, preserve it. Knowledge doesn't just survive. It flourishes passed down safely from one generation to the next. Imagine the scene. Euclid isn't just a historical figure in a textbook. He's a living professor, teaching advanced geometry to students from Britain to India. Doctors are studying human anatomy from detailed dissections. Centuries before this became common practice in our timeline, astronomers, inspired by the likes of Aristotle, who proposed a sun-centered universe, are building sophisticated devices to track the planets with a precision that we wouldn't see for another 1,500 years. The library evolves from a repository into the world's first true university, a global hub of innovation. With this accumulated knowledge being shared and built upon, inventions arrive centuries ahead of schedule. Engineers, poring over the works of Archimedes and Hero of Alexandria, don't just theorize about steam power. They perfect it. By 200 BC, steam engines are not just novelties, but are powering complex machinery and even early forms of transport. Cities are transformed by advanced aqueducts and sanitation systems based on forgotten Roman and Greek engineering. Navigation and shipbuilding advance at a breathtaking pace, making global travel a reality far earlier than we can imagine. While much of the world in our history was entering the Dark Ages, this alternate Alexandria is illuminating the ancient world, sparking a golden age of reason and discovery. Fast forward to the year 1000 AD. In this alternate reality, the world is unrecognizable. The dominant empires compete not with swords and shields, but with ideas and innovations. The most powerful nations are those with the best universities and the most brilliant scholars. Borders are porous to knowledge, with academics and scientists traveling freely between vibrant intellectual centers in Asia, Africa, and Europe. And this isn't a world dominated by one gender. With knowledge being the ultimate currency, women, who were notable contributors in the real Alexandria, rise to become leaders in science, philosophy, and politics. The printing press, an invention that changed our world, appears much sooner, spreading scientific treatises and philosophical debates faster than religious dogma. The Renaissance, our great reawakening, doesn't need to happen in 15th century Florence because the wisdom of the ancients was never lost. It was continuously built upon. This isn't a rebirth of knowledge. It's an unbroken 2,000-year-long chain of human progress. With 2 millennia of uninterrupted scientific advancement, the impossible becomes mundane. Ancient scientists, having mastered the principles of physics and chemistry, unlocked the secrets of the atom, not for weapons, but for clean, limitless energy. The Earth is fully mapped, its climate understood, its resources managed sustainably, and by the 1500s, the same century Columbus was cautiously sailing west. Humanity in this timeline takes its first steps on the moon. They are guided by star maps, whose origins trace all the way back to the papyrus scrolls of the Great Library. Humanity turns into a curious bunch of explorers, not just roaming the Earth, but also diving into the cosmos, thanks to the library's inspiration. But, of course, that world exists only in our imagination. We have to return to our own timeline. The reality is, we burned our greatest treasure. And it wasn't gold, it wasn't land, it wasn't power. That loss, that fire, didn't just take our books. It wiped out 1,000 years of progress. It cost us a different version of ourselves. The loss of the Library of Alexandria wasn't just a historical tragedy. It was the theft of a potential future, a glimpse of who we might have been. And yet, the story doesn't end in ashes. The spirit of Alexandria, that grand idea of collecting and sharing knowledge, was too powerful to be destroyed completely. It lives on. It lives on in every school, every university, every library. It lives on in every book we read, every documentary we watch, and every idea we share online. The spirit of Alexandria is alive right now in the very technology that allows us to have this conversation. Because knowledge, true knowledge, never really dies. It just waits. It waits for curious minds like yours and mine to seek it out, to share it, and to bring it back to life. Thank you for joining me on this journey through a world that might have been. If you enjoyed exploring this alternate history, please give this video a like, subscribe for more content like this, and share it with someone else who loves to wonder, what if?